Sarah Collins clutched her boarding pass tightly as she weaved through the crowded Atlanta International Airport. Her heart raced. She had one shot, an interview for a corporate assistant position at a prestigious firm in New York. After months of sending out resumes, this opportunity had felt like a miracle. She was dressed neatly in a budget blazer, a second-hand purse slung across her shoulder, and hope written all over her face. Her gate was just a few steps away when she noticed him. An elderly man hunched over, confused, trying to drag a heavy suitcase while peering at a crumpled printout of flight information. People walked past him, some annoyed, others oblivious. Sarah hesitated for a second. Her flight was boarding. This was her moment. But then she turned around. "Sir, do you need help?" she asked gently. The man looked up with watery eyes. I think I'm lost. I can't find gate A12. She quickly glanced at the board. "You're on the other side of the terminal. It's a bit of a walk." "I'm not so fast these days," he chuckled weakly. Without another thought, Sarah took the suitcase handle. "Come on, let's get you there." They walked slowly. He shuffled. She matched his pace. Along the way, she learned his name was Charles, and he was flying to Chicago to visit family. He spoke with an old-school charm and kindness that reminded her of her late grandfather. Despite the growing anxiety in her chest about missing her flight, she smiled and stayed calm. By the time they reached gate A12, the boarding gate for her own flight had already closed. Charles gave her a grateful nod. "I can manage from here, young lady. Thank you." She forced a smile. "Of course, safe travels." Sarah walked back in a daze, heart sinking. She had missed her flight, the interview, the chance, everything, all because she had stopped, all because she had cared. She sat near baggage claim and stared blankly ahead. Her phone buzzed with a missed call from the company's HR. Her chest tightened. How would she explain this? They wouldn't reschedule. Why would they? Just as she wiped a tear from the corner of her eye, a young man in a blazer approached her. "Miss Collins." She looked up, confused. "Yes?" "Mr. Charles Whitaker would like to speak with you." Her brows furrowed. "I'm sorry, who?" He simply smiled. "Please follow me." Still processing what was happening, Sarah stood and followed him through a private corridor. Her heels clicked against polished floors as her mind raced. She couldn't help but wonder. What kind of man sends someone to fetch you after a missed flight? Nothing could have prepared her for the answer waiting at the end of that hallway. Sarah was led into a sleek, glass-walled lounge, far removed from the noisy terminal she had just left. Inside, everything felt luxurious and quiet. The man in the blazer guided her to a table where the same elderly man she had helped, Charles, was now seated, sipping tea like he owned the place. She approached slowly. "Mr. Whitaker." He looked up with a smile, but now his eyes sparkled with more clarity, more authority. He gestured to the chair across from him. "Please, Sarah, sit." She hesitated, still unsure what was going on, then slowly sat down. "I owe you an apology," he said warmly. "I wasn't lost." Sarah blinked. "What?" He leaned back in his chair. "I was observing, testing, if you will. I own Skywing Airlines. I've built it from a single plane operation into one of the top carriers in the country, but lately I've been worried we're losing something. Empathy, character, the human touch." Sarah stared at him, mouth slightly open. You own the airline?" He nodded. "And I sometimes walk the terminals as an old man to see how people treat me when they think I'm invisible." She exhaled, stunned. "Today, out of thousands rushing to catch flights and chase dreams, you stopped, you helped. You gave up your opportunity to help a stranger who, by all appearances, had nothing to offer you in return." She looked down, tears forming in her eyes. "I missed my interview because of that." Charles smiled gently. "I know, that's why I called the firm." She looked up sharply. "I happen to sit on their board. Your interview is rescheduled for tomorrow morning. You'll fly first class, stay at a 5-star hotel tonight, and I've already covered your expenses." Sarah was speechless. "But before you go," he continued, "I want to make you an offer." She leaned forward slightly. How would you like to intern directly with me at Skywing? Full pay, housing allowance, mentorship. We need people like you. For a moment, Sarah couldn't speak. Her voice trembled. I don't know what to say. Say yes, he said with a wink. And she did. Months later, Sarah stood confidently in a tailored suit, her ID badge clipped proudly to her jacket. She was now one of Skywing's top intern analysts, learning fast, contributing ideas, and becoming a rising star. Her story spread quietly within the company, about the simple woman who missed her flight to help a stranger and ended up flying higher than she'd ever dreamed. At a company event, Charles raised a toast and said, "It wasn't her resume that impressed me, it was her heart." And from that day on, a new sign was posted at every Skywing terminal. Kindness is our first-class policy.